Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a very special edition, Tuesday morning edition of the Intuit Developer Friday Morning Hangout on October 18th, 2016. I'm your host, David Leary, from the Intuit Small Business Ecosystem Evangelist. You can follow me on Twitter at David Leary. You can follow Intuit Developer at Intuit Dev. Today we have a special guest, Justin Wu. He's the developer evangelist at Jibo, getjibo.com. He is one of the API sponsors for the hackathon, which is this Saturday. He's going to bring his Jibo robots. He's going to tell us about his Jibo robots and all the exciting things you can do with them at the hackathon. So just before we do that, reminder, QuickBooks Connect is next week. We're down to 5 days away, I think. Hackathon's on Saturday. So the hackathon will be the Saturday and Sunday before QuickBooks Connect. If you want to register, please go to the hackathon is completely sold out at this point. But if you go to QuickBooksConnect.com and register for QuickBooks Connect and choose the hackathon, we'll still get you in. So you're going to pay for the conference, and then we'll still get you into the hackathon. But the hackathon is completely sold out, but we'll still make some room if somebody goes to the main conference, to just be clear about that. There's some great speakers. Other people are coming to the conference. But let's jump in and definitely get into the hackathon and definitely talk to Justin about the Jibo. So I'm just going to flip over the stop screen sharing here. And hey, Justin.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the Friday Morning Hangout. Please introduce yourself to the world and tell us about Jibo.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm super excited about the hackathon. Even more excited. Well, I'm equally excited about the conference too. I just saw like Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Phelps are attending too. So hopefully to get an autograph and photo with them, that'll be amazing. Yeah, I'm the developer evangelist at Jibo. Jibo, what we'd like to say is the world's first social robotics platform. So there's a few words in that. I know a few long words. We call it a platform because you can easily build skills or applications on the robot using JavaScript and Atom, those tools which I'm going to go through. We call it social because you can speak to him. He's got 6 microphones. He's got cameras on him, and he's got a touch screen. So you can interact with him. In fact, we call him a character-driven robot. So he's got like a character of a 13-year-old boy. The best way to describe him is like Eva in WALL-E, except that he can't fly. But he can execute a lot of tasks, and he's a platform that we want developers to hopefully come along with us on this journey and build for us. So yeah, that's Jibo. Yep, I'm the developer evangelist down there. So I guess should I just jump right into, let's talk more about Jibo. I've got a couple of videos I wanted to show. Is that right? All right, David? Or is there any other thing that we wanted to talk about before going straight into showing people what we can build on Jibo and stuff like that?
Yeah, let's start with one of the videos for sure. I'd love to see it myself.
Great. So the first video I'm going to show is, let me do this here. Show share. Sorry, I just want to make sure that I can. Okay. I think I can share. Can you see the video right now? Is that showing anything?
It's a little low on the screen, but I think if you move it up, we're good. Yes, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I'm sharing my entire screen. Okay, great. So why don't I put this on? Okay, here we go. All right. So this is a marketing video, just really short, 15 seconds.
They say I am a robot. But between you and me, I've always felt more like a Sagittarius.
Yeah, I guess you can see that, right?
Yeah, you can see it. The audio was a little low. So I don't know if I can control that or not on my side. Let's see here.
It's not a big deal. That video is more of like a marketing video. It just shows that Jibo is a character. He's kind of funny. A couple of things. You can see that he moves, and he's also got a character behind him, right? He kind of jokes. He says that he thinks he's a robot, but he considers himself more of a Sagittarius. So one of the key things that we've actually hired is both animators and screenwriters to really give Jibo his character and his life. And I think one of the exciting things about being a developer on Jibo as a platform is that you get to build Jibo's character and really interact him like he's a character in your home. So let me show you, if it's okay with you, I'll show you actually more importantly a video of a skill. So on robots, applications are called skills. I think it's an old robotics term. And I'll show you a skill that a developer built. Is that okay? Yeah.
Before you jump into that, I think before we were talking before we started the hangout for a couple
Yeah.
seconds, and you were talking about like robots should be here. I mean, right now there's one robot and it only vacuums your house, right?
Yeah.
So when you say skill, is like that the skill, like the like a microwave, it just cooks your food fast, like that's the killer function, right? So is that what you mean by
Mhm.
skill, like the one thing it does, or
It's a good question. So I think for us, unfortunately, Jibo doesn't have hands, right?
okay?
And he can move in three directions. So one is his head, he can rotate 360 degrees, his torso, and then his base. When we talk about skills, we're thinking about applications that fit within the limits of his capabilities right now. I think our next version, we want him to move. The version after that, we might want him to have arms. But we want to think of people getting more into robotics or social robotics. And when as skills itself are applications that run on top of Jibo. An example being like a
Got it.
storytelling application in the Boston Children's Hospital, or the Defense Department is trying to work with veterans who have post-traumatic stress disorder, or even like stuff at the reception where he can substitute as a receptionist, or something as simple as he can order a pizza or an Uber. Yeah. So
That's
that's
great. Yeah.
what
So yeah,
we.
definitely let's show a skill for sure. Let's see one.
Yeah. And one thing I love to talk about, yeah, was that, the conversation we had was, we have two goals. Of course, hopefully, Jibo is a platform that really spurs on this robotics movement, but more so to get people interested in robotics. And like we talked about, it's funny that the most common robot we see nowadays is the vacuum cleaner. Like robots should be here like yesterday. Like they should be like making my bed, doing my homework, reminding me when my wife's birthday is or my anniversary, just stuff like that, right? And we strongly believe in that, and we want to get people just interested in robotics. We think the reason why robots aren't common everywhere is twofold. One is the price, which we think is dropping dramatically. The second thing is their user interface. No one's figured out, right, like what the best way is to interact with a robot. Our hypothesis is that if we make them personable and social, like a character in the home, then people will want to use them more, they proliferate more, and then people can build more skills, and then sort of like, just how the iPhone, one of the biggest innovations was the touchscreen, the pinch and zoom. For us, it's like just making like a character, personal robot. And we really see that happening in a lot of different places. We hope robotics is that, our thesis in robotics, that's where it will hopefully expand robots. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're kind of going for. I mean, fair. You think about the Roomba, right? It's just there's very little it does. It's not too scary. You're used to it just rolling around your house vacuuming.
Yep.
And you're kind of easing into that next layer of the water, right? Like, hey, I'm taking a
Yep.
further step out into the ocean here. And okay, this robot, it doesn't have arms. It's not going to kill me or strangle me. All these bad nightmares scenarios from movies. It's just going to help me. And so, yeah,
Yep.
I think that's a good strategy. Then we're comfortable with this Jibo. So Jibo version 10 will do 10 more things for my house, but I get it. I get it.
Yes.
So let's
Yes.
definitely look at some skills, and then maybe you can start showing some code, and we can start getting developers to understand how they can possibly use Jibo to solve small business problems.
Great. So can you see my video right now? I think right.
Perfect. Good.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna play this. This is a simple skill. It's basically a hide and seek skill. Yeah, I'll just play it and then I'll explain it later on.
Hey, Justin, is it possible for you to rewind and start again with a little bit more volume?
I've maxed the volume up. I'm wondering whether it's something in
It could be
why
Blue
the
Jeans
volume is
too.
not.
I'm not sure. Okay.
I could, for some reason, so the volume's up here and I've maxed my volume up there. What else could I do? Okay, Blue Jeans, is there settings?
Or what you could do is as it's going, you
Yeah,
could maybe
I'll
just
just
explain what's
annotate
happening.
it.
Yeah, annotate it. Perfect.
Yeah, okay, great. So, all right, so in the beginning, here you go. So, so this is Jibo. I'm gonna say, hey Jibo. I just said hey Jibo, and you can see that it tells me what's going on. Then I say the term look away. So right now, then it did a bit of animation. It looked away. It asked me how long, right? And then I said 5 seconds. So then it acknowledged it's going to look away for 5 seconds. And then after 5 seconds, it will ask me, hey, can I turn around now? And right now it's saying, can I turn around now? I say the word yes, and then it turns around. Does that make sense? I'm sorry you can't hear the audio,
Awesome.
but
No, that's great. Like now I get it. It's great. It's cool.
yeah.
No, it worked out perfect. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Very exciting.
That was just a simple skill to show a few things. The first thing, so let me dive right in here. So we have a few components. The first component that I want to show you guys is what we call our animation. So can you see my screen right here?
I think right now you're still just sharing the video. You might have to flip over.
Okay. Sorry. How does that look?
Perfect. Now I see code. That's what we want.
Great. Is that so I'm gonna make sure that you're seeing the right one. Great, fantastic. Okay, so the first thing we want to let people know is this. We're built on top of Atom, which is the GitHub editor. It's just a package within Atom. Free to download, free to install, simple to install too. We also built on top of Electron. Now, you don't really, for those who don't understand Electron, it's a way for you to write HTML and JavaScript apps on desktop. For us, it allows you to build your skills in HTML and JavaScript. I'll go into that a lot more detail later on. But the first thing I like to show is what we call animations. So in order to make Jibo like a character, we have these things called animations here. Sorry, and I am going to, restart my, I apologize. There's an issue there.
You might have to reshare it once you restart it.
Oh, okay, great. That.
Okay, we're seeing the Jibo SDK again.
Great. Okay, let's see. For some reason there's an issue here. Might have to look into this and see.
Okay, so just my initial reaction at this point, right, is so this is kind of like an IDE, but at the same time it also looks like a video editing software or music editing software.
Yes. Okay, and I don't know whether you can see. Can you see? I don't know what you're seeing on my screen, but can you see Jibo animating on the screen itself?
No, we can't see it. I hear something making like a little noise, but I can I definitely see the timeline across the bottom, the play timeline.
What I'm gonna do is how about I share my screen like that?
Does that work? Screen, the desktop. Okay, yeah. Try that.
Yeah. Does that work if I?
Now I can see it. Yep.
Great. Okay, so a few things. One is, as you can see, everything's in Chrome. So we actually have a developer debugging tool right here, and this is a simulator for Jibo. So you actually don't have to build stuff on the robot. You can actually just simulate it on the simulator itself.
So when you come in to the hackathon, you're going to bring 3 Jibos with you, so people can check those out and use those. But if somebody's using it right now, you can still be productive. You can still do development on the Jibo.
Correct.
Deploy the code back.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely. So you don't really need a Jibo to do that, but you can sort of run your skills or applications on the simulator without a robot. So I'm not sure what happened here. I think actually, let me dive right back into again with the animations. I'm going to try one other thing here. Anyway, so let me go dive into how you're going to build an animation. So you can't see it right now. This will definitely be fixed by the hackathon. But what you can do is we have these different layers. So for those who are familiar with Flash, we have a layer where you can actually animate each of its movements. So for example, the body, you can move it around. The eye, you can change it. The texture of the eye, and you can even add an audio event. So each of these will generate the animation itself. And I apologize in advance here. I'm not sure why it's not showing that up. But what you can do is you can drag and drop, and there's actually 2 parts. One is the body right here, and the coloring that you can change stuff as you're doing each of the layers. Just like Flash, you set it in a particular time, and you're able to change its movement, and then you save it at a point, and then what we do is we tween it in between. So those are familiar with animating or video editing tools. This should be a very familiar interface for them. Yeah, apologize, I'm not sure why it's not showing up. But let me dive into two other parts here. So what I can do is during the hackathon, especially during the 3-minute pitch which I have, I'll show people how to build a simple animation. But let me move into more interesting parts here. So not only do we have the animations, but we also have a way for you to speak to Jibo, right? And in that video which I showed, as you can see, I asked Jibo to look away, and then he asked like, how long can I look away for, right? So for those who are familiar with speech detection, the way we do speech detection is generating these things called rule files, essentially like sort of grammar files itself. Here, what you can see is, for us, we allow it to recognize a few words. Let me scroll down here. So you can see that look. I don't know whether you're able to see where my mouse is at.
I can see that, yeah.
Can you? You can see. So look, it's very simple, right? Here, look is detected as look or turn. So someone says turn, it's going to be detected as look. If someone says away or around or somewhere else, it's going to detect it as the variable away. And here you can see even a more complicated grammar file where you can say something like look away. Now this is a wildcard for how many hours, minutes, or seconds. Let me give you an example here. It makes more sense when I could test it out.
And so these are some of these words and phrases are ones that Jibo just gets for free out of the box.
No, this is something that people built already for that skill by the third-party developer. So we have factory rules that you can use, simple ones like yes or no rules. But this example here is just a way I just wanted to show people, like, if they wanted to build their own grammar files, this is an example here.
Oh, they can do that themselves. Got it.
Yeah, that they can do themselves. Again, I think there's a good tutorial online that showcases this, but I just wanted to give people an idea of how Jibo recognizes your speech.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Essentially, it's a different way. It's not if you're familiar with speech detection, if you've built to the Amazon Alexa or other voice rules like that, you're probably familiar with it. But if not, these grammar files are a bit different way of thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, it's just really simple. What's it doing is it's detecting. You can say look away, or you could say turn around, because look, the variable here, which is assigned by the $sign, look, either look or turn will detect the variable look.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what I can do, again, this is a rule file. The essential thing here for the developers out there really is you can build very complicated grammar or speech understanding files on Jibo using this language here. And I can always go into more detail about how to build that. And in this particular example looks very complicated, but again, we've got very simple rules like this here that essentially tells you if Jibo says yes or no, right? Or things like this, whereby it can translate to time. And there are some factory rules inbuilt that we've already built for Jibo. But yeah, these are ways for you to extend that on the skill itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's pretty
cool. It's a lot to digest.
So I mean, I can see, because to some extent, right, in the QuickBooks world, right, in the small business accounting world, we have our own set of vocabulary. So this makes sense, right? A developer is going to have to, they might not be telling Jibo to look away, right? But an accountant now has a Jibo sitting next to them in the office, and they might be asking the Jibo to retrieve something like, get me that customer's phone number, or what's the accounts payable balance for this, or has that client sent me this thing, whatever it might be, right? But yeah, we have our own vocabulary around QuickBooks, right? Inventory, items, lists, so profit and accounting reports. So I could see where, having that specific language files is going to matter.
Yeah. And I can go into this more detail. We have a ton of examples online and stuff that you can pull down. Probably the last thing that I want to showcase was how you can, again, remember I talked about how a lot of the code is in HTML and JavaScript.
Yep.
I can show you how you can build a simple, what we call skill or application on Jibo. We've got this concept, again, it may look daunting, but it's actually really simple. We've got this concept called a behavior tree, where we sort of abstract away um, a lot of the programming into what we call a behavior tree, or it's more for those developers it's like a state machine here. So here, this is a very simple behavior tree. We've got a sequence where it plays an animation, it plays an audio, and then it executes a script. And within this script here, you can see that I've actually put in the IFTT maker NPM module. So another thing to take note is that we've actually got a node server running on the robot itself. So you can pull in any NPM package onto the robot and then execute anything down there. So yeah, that's just really quick way for you to build a skill on Jibo. Yeah.
Great. So I know you said you did a college hackathon recently. Like, what are some of the cool things now that you're kind of releasing Jibo out in the wild? You said there's only 80 of them that exist in the whole world, right? So it's fairly new. But have you seen anything interesting that you guys didn't imagine yet? Like, did somebody use Jibo to do something like, whoa, we didn't think that was possible?
Yeah. For us, because we're so focused on the robot, one thing we saw was connecting to other hardware. So we saw someone using like a Myo band and even a BCI interface to sort of communicate with Jibo outside of voice. So that was one thing we saw at the college hackathon.
Interesting.
The other thing, was Jibo. The one that really stood out for us was Jibo playing Pictionary, and like you could, because there's cameras, you could detect the photo, get that camera, send it to TensorFlow using Google's API, and detect what you had drawn. For us, the ones that really surprise us, right? So we have a few folks that are working with us, especially places like nonprofits that have a problem that they think like robotics can solve. One example is Boston's Children's Hospital. So this was outside of the hackathon. They came to us and said that, well, a lot of kids would like a companion down there when they're in the hospital that they could talk to instead of talking to nurses. So they're building an application for that. Another one is kids with autism. So just to step back a bit, our founder, the reason why she started Jibo was she discovered that kids really learn well with robots because they can adapt to the child, they can progress, they can remember what the child had learned. But they only work well if the robot is social and has character behind it. So we're seeing a lot of applications in those areas like autism, whereby they can build different programs and learning modules specifically for kids with autism and adapt to them. But because Jibo has a character that attracts them to that robot and that form factor, it's not scary. So those are the ones that are really impressive. For us, it's really like they take a problem that they know really well and they apply a solution built on top of Jibo for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. It definitely has a big social impact. I can definitely see that. I also could see, like, when I first saw it, I was imagining like, oh, it could be a point of sale, right? Like instead of some of these point of sale machines, self-service ones, right, at Home Depots and Targets, are just these monsters, and it's always yelling at you like, put your groceries down, pick them up. You're right. It's not very social. It's not very friendly. I could see, where you go in, I can hold up my credit card. It can just read the number to scan, and then somebody could use the payments API of QuickBooks, or they could use a Stripe API or something, right? And hold it up. They can, or I think it was Braintree that had that out too, right? Where you could just hold it up, just like with the Uber app. You take a photo, so you could do that with the Jibo and just pay by holding up your credit card. You kind of get that nice response back. Thank you for paying. Like, I could definitely see like that could be a point of sale. I could see it being like, where small business owners have it in their office, and it's like having your accountant sit next to you, even though your accountant's not there. It's really, really interesting. I could see it also. Maybe there's possibilities around meetings, right? Because right now, even right now, right? Like, I'm talking to you, but it's a laptop screen. Like, it would be cool if it was like your face was kind of in the middle of the robot's face. So there's probably lots of business applications that this could be used for. It's exciting that you're exploring that now, right? You're bringing it in and letting people figure out what they can build for small business.
Yeah, I love those ideas about bringing it on commerce platforms and then small businesses, really facilitating the jobs that a lot of us have to do, and helping serve their customers a lot better, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting piece of technology. I know you said you just recently wiped them because you're preparing for this something you have to do tomorrow with them, but it would be great to see one working in person. So I'm really, really excited about Saturday. I know others are very, very excited, and we had earlier this week I talked to API.ai, and that's really exciting. Like these, like out of the box, like what you can do now for chatbots like almost instantly. And not only that,
Amazing.
like I think they can go from that and instantly, oh, you want a chatbot for Slack? Facebook, it's just like you're just setting preferences, and now you have your chatbot can work on other things. So it's just really exciting to see kind of what's next for small businesses in all this space, beyond just, oh, I have an invoice and my customer paid me for the invoice. Like we're starting to solve
Yes.
other problems for them, and a lot of it is because the hardware's cheap. Hardware's
Yep.
getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So are you guys? Jibo is not for sale yet, correct?
No. Yeah. At that, we're gonna. So we did an Indiegogo campaign. Was it? I think it was 2 years ago, where we sold a couple of thousand units and really started the company by raising a couple million down there. And we're gonna ship those first batch of units to those early adopters at the end of this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's exciting. Got it. So hopefully, maybe somebody listening is an early adopter, and this is just getting them even more excited. If they can't
Yeah.
wait, they should come to the hackathon for sure.
We love talking to early adopters because those are the ones that really help start the company. Yep.
Got it. So you're coming to hackathon on Saturday. You'll be there all day Sunday, 24 hours, supporting Jibo. And then are you going to actually stick around for the rest of the QuickBooks Connect conference?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do that. I'm really interested in understanding more about what the small business, what about QuickBooks, and really looking for different partners that we can integrate with. Yeah, so absolutely. I'll be around there. Yeah.
It would be interesting to see it's hard to get a feel like how big is this? Is it Jibo?
It's a good question. So I'm going to put it, I think the size of his head is about the size of my head, and the size of the body is about the size of my head. So
it's like Shaquille O'Neal's foot, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
be a cool picture.
Shaquille's, it'd be interesting. I should have a picture of that and just like how I think it's slightly smaller than Shaquille's foot, if I remember correctly.
Okay, just a little bit. Okay, got it. No, it's
Maybe,
exciting. I cannot wait. No, this is great. Cool. This is awesome. I will get this uploaded to YouTube, and we'll get this sent out to all the hackathon attendees. I cannot wait to see you on Saturday morning, and I can't wait to see Jibo in person. It's exciting. Like, I mean, there's a lot of cool hardware coming, right? And you see APIs, you can get so excited. But this kind of feels like it's a little, like you're bringing a little person with you, and it's kind of a different feel, which is really exciting. So looking forward to it, and I know a lot of members of the team are really excited to see this in person.
David, before we head off, let me just share one thing. I just want to share, let's see whether I can start my screen here. Okay, great. We are sharing a screen. I just want to show people the website. If you go to developers.jibo.com or you go to sdk.jibo.com, that's where you can get, we have a forum, which is very helpful. Getting started, another place. And again, everything's free to download. If you have Node installed, it'd be really good. If not, we tell you which version of Node to install. And then everything's built on top of Atom. And we have a couple, you can easily just start with Hello World here. So we have a couple of tutorials here and a couple of videos to do that. Yeah. So that's where, if you just want to get started, and again, you can email me at justin@jibo.com for any questions. Yeah.
The screen itself, can you put any image you want on the screen? You can play video on the screen. Or is it limited to just those colors and dots and things?
No, it's a good question. So the first thing is any image you can put in a JPEG, text image. So that's with our current SDK. The second version of our SDK, which is going to be released at the end of this year, you can build anything in Adobe Animate, or it used to be called Flash, and then transfer it over. So essentially, this is a web browser or like a browser control. So you can put any HTML, Java HTML, like even build something using like React or whatever on it. So that's with the newer version of the SDK. But the version of SDK that I'm bringing to this hackathon, you can replace it with any JPEG image there. Yeah.
Got
or
it.
JPEG, so you can actually build, yeah.
That'd be interesting. Where you think about it, going back to the vacuum thing, like you want robots making your bed for you and doing all these exciting things. Like I could see, where maybe people tie it back into an optical character recognition. You just hold up an invoice and be like, Jibo, put this in QuickBooks. Jibo goes and does all that work for you. You just hold it up for a second, and then it just goes and does that, which is really, because yes, you can scan something in, but you still have to take it and stick the paper in the scanner. But if you could just hold it up for a second and yell at Jibo, he turns around and gets it. That's really, really cool. So I'm very, very excited about this. I cannot wait to see this on Saturday. And hopefully,
thanks, David. We're really excited about attending to this. Will be our second hackathon, and so we're very excited about doing this. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I will see you on Saturday.
Okay, great. Thanks, David.
Thanks so much, Justin. Have a good weekend or good week, and I'll see you Saturday. Bye.
you. Bye.